Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you guys doing? This wasn't a planned live, as you can see. Um, we didn't have this live planned. I'm not going to wait too long. I'm going to give you guys about a minute or two to catch up to this live, and then I'm going to get directly into it. Usually, I'm very composed, and I'm trying to stay composed right now. But I'm very, very upset. So I'm going to try to compose myself, and I'm going to address some of these comments that Stephen A. Smith made. So I'm going to give everyone about a minute and a half or 2 minutes. I'm going to give about 1 minute and 30 more seconds because I know what's going to happen is people are going to come in and some people are going to be wondering, what am I talking about? So I want to give people some time before I start. I'm going to be addressing the comments that Stephen A. Smith made about, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Shohei Ohtani. He's a baseball player, and I want to talk about him. He's a Japanese professional baseball player. They used to play in the Pacific League. And I also want to talk about some comments that he made about the Nigerian players that played Team USA. Those are the two things that I want to talk about. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And this episode is not going to be a joke. This is very serious. How you doing, Candace? Yeah, this live is completely unplanned. So I'm going to give people about 30 more seconds before I get started. Because generally, Shohei, thank you so much for that. Miguel, Shohei, thank you so much for that. I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds and then allow people to join in, and then we're going to get started. Because this one here is not a joke for me. Maybe some people, it's a joke to them. I see we got some pretty funny people in here talking about Stephen A. Smith. When you go look at the channel, you go look at all the other videos. Did you see me talking about Stephen A. Smith? No, but since you have nothing else better to do on a Monday night, hey, why not make fun of somebody else? Okay, so make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the share button, and then we'll get started. Okay, so let me okay, yes. Okay, thank you for that, Candace. Okay, here's the first thing. I want to start in order because the big news right now is the comments that Stephen A. Smith made about Shohei Ohtani, who's a Japanese descent baseball player. But the Nigerian team versus Team USA thing happened a day ago. So I'm going to start with that first. Then I'm going to get to Shohei Ohtani's comments, the comments that he made about him on ESPN First Take today. Because to me, that it's absurd. I'm just, okay, Shohei, that's how you pronounce his name. Okay, few things I want to touch on quickly before we get started. I'm so angry. I'm actually trying to calm down. As y'all know, obviously I'm an African American of Nigerian descent. Okay, my parents are from West Africa. My mom is from Sierra Leone, and my dad is from Nigeria. In African culture, wherever your father's from is usually the side you're from. Good. I'm glad that we understand that. So I'm Nigerian American. Good. As y'all know, there are players in the NBA that have descent from many different parts of the world, and some of them are from Nigeria, like Bam Adebayo, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a citizen of Greece. His parents are Nigerian, so his heritage is Nigerian. He plays for the country Greece, but technically, if Giannis had a Nigerian passport, he could actually play for Team Nigeria. Bam Adebayo was born in America like me, but because his father was Nigerian from the Yoruba tribe, I heard some fools online talking about Yoruba is a religion. Yoruba is a tribe. Igbo they are a people, not a religion. Let me just clarify that for the people that are misinformed. I know there's a lot of misinformation going on here in the internet. People that have never jumped on a plane, gone anywhere to Africa can tell you every single thing about Africa, yet they've never been there. So I just want to kind of clarify that. They played Team USA. Team Nigeria played USA. Okay. And Team USA, and Victor Oladipo is also Nigerian, yes. And Team USA played Team Nigeria. I wasn't even following it. I saw that they beat them, but we all know that Team USA is a very good team, and they have the best players in the world. Why? Because all of the players on Team USA are NBA players. So obviously they're going to have the best team. Fantastic. And Team Nigeria has about 5 or so NBA players on their roster. Good. They played them and they beat the United States. It's big news only because America is the best basketball playing country. We all know this. This is the only reason it's news. For example, if America was trying to qualify for the World Cup and there was an exhibition match and America beat Italy or America beat Brazil, it would be the exact same uproar. Just so people know, you're not supposed to beat Brazil, just like you're not supposed to beat America. Let me just kind of lay that out. Make sure you guys hit the likes, guys, because it's a very serious live that I'm doing, and I have a lot that I want to say. I kind of sat on this, but I definitely want to get it off my chest here. So they beat them. It blew over. We heard what the coaches had to say. Mike Brown, who's coaching the Nigerian team. We heard what Greg Popovich had to say, who's coaching Team USA. We heard all of this. We had moved on. Good. Today, ESPN comes back. ESPN First Take comes back. And as y'all know, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman they've been where they've been. Okay, I don't know where they were. Then they come back and they're asking what's his name? They're asking Stephen A. Smith, what are your thoughts on what transpired with Team USA? And Stephen A. Smith got up he started talking, and he said it's a big deal because America lost. Things I already said. How can America lose when you have the best players in the world? Things we already understand. No problem. Then in his explanation, he continues on to do what he normally does, and that's why he's in a lot of hot water today. I'm going to be talking about what he said about Shohei Ohtani and what he said about the Nigerian team, what he said about Sammy Sosa, but I'm starting off with the Nigerian team. So you guys want to stick around for that. He goes off to say they lost to the Nigerian team. As he's going through explaining that loss, he starts to say, oh, and he lost to a bunch of guys, somebody like Gab and Amdi, and essentially making fun of their names because he couldn't pronounce it. So he was making fun of their names. African players' names. Let me tell y'all something. That type of disrespect won't be tolerated. That type of disrespect will not be tolerated. And let me say something else. Because I got to talk to black people here. Because there's a lot of people living there's a lot of people. I think a lot of people out there are saying what people want to hear, and nobody wants to say the truth. Let me tell you something. I grew up in the Bronx, New York. Bronx, New York. I was raised. I was made fun of because people that knew my parents were African. I was made fun of by Black Americans. My own fellow Black Americans were making fun of me, calling me African booty scratcher and all of this different stuff, making fun of my last name because my last name is Tabansi. It's not an American name. I had blacks doing that. They were the first before any Puerto Rican dude did it, before any Dominican dude did it, before any Italian American dude did it. It was my black people first. They were the first ones. Once the other races saw that the black people made it okay, they joined in. African booty scratcher, this one. Who was saying that? Who says that? Who's the one that made up those terms? Who says it? I had one clown dude come up here and tell me, oh, you're not with the struggle. You're not from the cause. Where you at? Some dude from somewhere that nobody knows, typing behind his keyboard, sucking dudes off on the internet, repeating what he hears. What part of the state you from and all of that? Get out of here with that. Who's the one that says that? Isn't that our fellow blacks that say that to ourselves? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? We made that okay. They were the ones that started that. So help me understand something. Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to be very direct tonight. Help me understand something. Stephen A. Smith. Let me ask you a question. Your last name, Smith. What's the heritage? What's your heritage of the last name? Your last name, Smith. Is that an African name? Smith, is it an African name? Can you go into any continent, any country in Africa and see the name Smith? In any country, can you see that name Smith? You don't know your heritage, and because you have no respect for your heritage and your people, you think other people don't have that same respect for themselves, but you're wrong. Because you have zero respect for your own heritage, you feel that you can talk about any other group of blacks and they will all take it like it is. Mispronouncing their names, not even making the effort to understand how to pronounce their names properly because you don't have any respect for your heritage and you don't even know it. Only a fool will get on TV as a black man and make fun of an African name. You're a fool. Let me tell you. Max Kellerman is a Jewish American. Was Max Kellerman born in Israel? No. Do you think Max Kellerman would allow Stephen A. Smith to be mispronouncing Jewish people's names like that? Are y'all crazy? You think he will still be on the air? But if you talk about a Nigerian American African, it's okay. Would he say that same thing about a Jewish name he didn't understand how to spell, how to pronounce? Would he? But when it's a black, when it's an African, they'll be the first one. You think they will let Stephen A. Smith still be on the air if he was doing that to Jewish people? Y'all think he would be on the air? But if he makes that same comment about Nigerian Americans, it's okay. But to show you how foolish he is, he doesn't even, not only does Stephen A. Smith have zero respect for who he is. You can sit up there, you can go to all the black schools in the country if you want. You can put on the HBCU. My mother went to Howard University. What are we talking about? My grandfather taught in Howard University. I just don't play those games that other people play. People like to play that game to get people on their side. Because I'm going to use these black terms that will get people riled up and they feel like, oh, we black. I don't do all of that. That's called pandering. I know who I am. I don't need to be going around here saying it for people. So people feel like, oh, I'm this dude. Nah. My mom went to Howard University. My grandfather taught there. My uncle went to Howard University. What you talk like? So I don't have to prove anything to anybody. But when it comes to this thing of disrespecting black, Stephen A. Smith ain't got no respect for black people. He has none. Because if you can't even respect your people that come from the place you come from, how are you going to talk about you respect blacks? Help me understand this. Is it that black people fell out of the sky? Like, I don't understand this. Go to any country in the world, any continent in the world. Stephen A. Smith is making $12 million a year. He has enough money to travel. The guy has enough money to get on a plane and travel. People come from different parts of the world. You're not going to go to China and see Italians. China has Chinese people. Japan has Japanese people. Brazil has Brazilian people. Portugal has Portuguese people. France has French people, and of course the colonized places. You go to Egypt, you see Egyptians. You go to Nigeria, you see Nigerians. You go to Sierra Leone, you see Sierra Leonean. You go to Ghana, Kwame Brown, his first name is Ghanaian. What are we talking about? What do you think Kwame came from, the moon? Everybody else gets to come from where they come from. When it comes to blacks, it has to be something ambiguous. It has to be a deeper mystery. No. They're not from Africa. They're from the moon. Meanwhile, these are people that have never even stepped foot on the continent. No. And if they are from Africa, everybody's from South Africa. It's either you're from South Africa or you're from Ghana. Those are the only two countries in the continent of Africa. So Stephen A. Smith says something like that, and I'm highly offended. If some blacks are not offended by that, then that's your business. You have people that are trying to track their heritage because they want to know where they come from. Only a fool doesn't want to know where they come from, and only a fool will allow somebody else to tell them where they're from. You do that research on your own. You're not a baby. Stop letting dudes think for you. Think for yourself. Know where you are. Know where you're from. So when somebody disrespects you, you can stand up for it. I look at Italian Americans. Italian Americans are proud to be Italian. Let me say it again. Italian Americans did not come from Mars. They came from Italy. They migrated. Like Irish American, like all of them, they migrated. Italians come from Italy. They do not come from Spain. Let me just dispel people of that. They don't come from it. It's not no secret place. Nobody forged the record book. Italians come from Italy. You meet Italian Americans. I used to live in New Jersey. They're super proud to be Italians. Extremely proud. None of them don't even know what part of Italy they came from. They don't know if they came from southern Italy, northern Italy. They came from the middle region. They don't know what part of Italy they came from. But they can tell you, oh, my grandfather's from Italy. And they'll be very proud about it because they respect their heritage. And some of them don't even speak Italian, but they respect their heritage. But when it's a black and you tell them, oh, your heritage from Africa, they start telling you some other nonsense. No, you're not from Africa. You came from the moon. No, that's not true. They're forging the record books. You came from this place. You came from that place. It's only us blacks that do this to ourselves. And that's the reason we've allowed somebody like this to get to that level where he can disrespect an entire country like that. Who does he feel? Who does Stephen A. Smith feel like who does he feel like he is? Who is he? Who is he? You work for ESPN, so what? You're making $12 million a year, so what? What are you talking? Then Nigerians to make way more. So what are we talking about here? And for you to say, I don't care what his name is, Miss Inamdi, but you can't even pronounce the guy's name. You're not even making an effort. Let him say that about a Jewish person, and let's see how long Stephen A. Smith be on. Let it have been that the Israeli basketball team beat the USA team. And let's see if he comes out on TV and starts mispronouncing people's names like that. You think Max Kellerman will sit there and let him talk about his people like that? You think Max Kellerman would do it? So why didn't nobody correct him? That's number one. Now let's get to the Shohei Ohtani's comments. Of course he mispronounced the name on purpose because he's a fool. Any black person that's black American like me, if you make fun of Africans and people you're a fool. You don't know you're making fun of yourself. Because I don't see any other race doing that. I don't see Italian Americans doing it. I don't see Irish Americans doing it. I don't see Chinese Americans doing it. But when it comes to us, we are fantastic at insulting ourselves. We carry first. We're the first to do it. The first. And that's why it's been okay for people like this to say this. And we let him get to this point. Who is he? Who is he? Y'all know Nigerian Americans are the most educated ethnic group in the United States. Do y'all know that? Leave it to stupid Stephen A. Smith to come and tell you otherwise. Somebody that can't even pronounce somebody's name would make the effort to pronounce their name. Meanwhile, you know your name. It's not even your last name. Smith is not an African last name. Unless you believe you came from the moon. What are we talking about here? So what if he's getting $12 million a year? Who is he? It's unbelievable to me. Let me get to the next comment he made about the baseball player. This baseball player, Shohei Ohtani, I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. This is called respect. When I say I hope I pronounce his name properly, this is something respect. This is the respect Stephen A. Smith can't show to his own people. That's what I'm showing to another group. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. This player is having a fantastic year right now, and he's leading the NBL, the baseball league, in home runs. I'll post the video at the end of this live. I'll link them to the comment section. He's leading the league in home runs right now, and he's on pace, I think, to be on par with one of Babe Ruth's record. Babe Ruth, the baseball player who many say is probably the best baseball player of all time, and I don't follow baseball. I've been to one baseball game in my life, a Mets game, and I just personally, it's not my favorite sport. I've been to a game, it's just not my thing. This is besides the point. So they asked the question. They said, "Is this a good thing or bad thing?" Thank you for that, John. Is this a good thing or a bad thing for baseball? Then Stephen A. Smith retorts, "This is a bad thing for baseball." Why is it a bad thing for baseball? He says, baseball right now is currently going through a crisis. And the sport is not as popular as it used to be. And basically what he was saying was that for baseball to be successful again, you would want a baseball player that is a non-immigrant, somebody that's homebred, maybe somebody from Kentucky, maybe somebody from Texas. Maybe he means somebody white. I don't know what he means. And he said, it's bad. He goes, it's a problem when the dude needs an interpreter to help him speak English. It's bad. And then he continues on to say, Sammy Sosa, who was a former baseball player. I'm not sure the country he's from. Let me just confirm real quick. I think he's from the Dominican Republic. I'm not sure. Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa is from, what country is he from? He is from Sammy Sosa. Just a minute here. Let me check what country he's from. I know he played for the Chicago Cubs. What country was he born? Dominican American, yeah. He's Dominican American of Haitian descent. And he said, even Sammy Sosa, it wasn't until later on in his career that we found out that he couldn't even speak English properly. And he started to make fun of the way Dominicans would speak, making fun of how they pronounce English words. And I said to myself, what kind of human being is this? What kind of human being is this? Let me post the link for you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but here's the link. Maybe I'll play it.
Ohtani's the top attraction.
Listen to this.
Not to me. And I say not to me because I completely understand where other people are coming from, and I'll leave that.
Can y'all hear it? If you can hear it, say yes. If you can hear it, say yes. So I'll play it for you guys so you guys can listen to it. Can y'all hear it? I can post the link, but if I post the link, then okay, great. I'm gonna just play real quick. Okay, great. Let me play what he said.
Side of the point to Max, and Max, you had the pleasure of meeting my child, my. Even though baseball is an international sport, and I totally get that, it's played in the United States and Canada. That's where Major League Baseball is being played. So when I'm looking at it from this perspective. In the United States of America, when you talk about the sport of Major League Baseball, you talk about its lack of diversity in terms of African-American players. You talk about the influx of foreign players, whether they be from Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Japan, or anywhere else. If you are a star and you need an interpreter, that might have something to do, not everything, because there's a lot of things that go into it, but that might have something to do with your inability to ingratiate yourself with that young demographic to attract them to the sport. I would remind you, Max, I would remind my brother Jeff, I would remind others that baseball is in trouble. The audience for Major League Baseball, the demographic repeatedly gets older. It's not getting younger. That younger demographic, which is the targets for all of the advertisers and sponsors and everybody else out there, that's the NBA and the NFL. Major League Baseball is struggling miserably. That's why you got a lot of people that have turned against the commissioner, Rob Manfred, because of all the changes that he's tried to incorporate and implement in an effort to save the sport by elevating it. They're so reluctant, believe it or not, I think contributes to people prefer offense.
Now, that's what he said about the guy. Let me play what he said about Sammy Sosa.
I know baseball a lot. I would go right now.
This is Sammy Sosa.
Baseball was dying in the 90s. What saved it? It was the home run competition between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. Now, obviously, Sammy Sosa, we learned later during his testimony on Capitol Hill that suddenly he needed an interpreter. You know, baseball being very, very good to him. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't enough. He needed an interpreter.
Why is he making fun of the way the guy talks? Why would you make fun of the way the guy talks? But I'm going to play what he said about the Nigerian players.
Have enough? Are you kidding me? That is ridiculous. The reality of the situation is that when you look at certain players that we talk about, we might talk about tier one or whatever. But when you talk about bona fide stars in the National Basketball Association, we can pick at least 15 to 20 of them. Half of them are on this damn roster. There's no excuse to lose to Nigeria. Some dude, Gabe Namdi, who goes by Gabe Vincent for the Miami Heat, Caleb Agata, Namu, however the hell you pronounce his name.
So this is what it's come to. You have Stephen A. Smith basically making fun of Nigerian names. Nigerians. On live TV. On live TV. This story really gained legs with the Shohei Ohtani comments. The Nigerian thing came first. The Nigerian thing wasn't even going to be covered. I'm the one covering it. When it became about Shohei, now Stephen A. Smith is in trouble because of his comments. So the Nigerian thing is okay. That one is okay. After all, they're just Nigerians. They're just black. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, why would we be upset about comments that Stephen A. Smith made about blacks when he himself doesn't respect blacks? Like that's already obvious. So we're not going to make it a big deal out of it. Let's talk about what he had to say about Shohei Ohtani. That's better. They didn't even care. They don't see anything wrong with this. Do you think if Stephen A. Smith was talking about the Israelis men's basketball team beating Team USA, do you think he would have been mispronouncing their name? Who said this? I'm tripping. Joshua Wilson, please tell us where Joshua, tell us where you're from, man. Because I'm tripping. Where you from? I think if somebody came into your house and said something about your family, or your family, or your brothers or your sisters, would you say they're tripping too? No. I didn't actually. Okay. If somebody says something about your family, is it cool for me to say you tripping? Let the people in the comments know. Is it okay for me? If it's okay for people to disrespect your family, is it okay for you? Let us know. Yes or no? Yes or no? So we can move on. This is another Stephen A. Smith right here. This is what I'm talking about. People like this see nothing wrong with it. They see nothing wrong with it. I will get on the... Anyway, so this is the issue I have with him. Stephen A. Smith, I've always said, has no respect for anything. The only thing he respects is the almighty dollar. That's all. Whatever makes money is all he cares about. He already said it. I wake up in the morning, the first two thoughts I have in my mind, how do I make my bosses money? How do I make myself some money? That basically means that he can, no, don't include me with we. I'm not with you. There's no we. I'm not with you. Please, you by your, I'm not with you. Like, when you have somebody like this that has no problem disrespecting people that look like him and people that have a similar heritage to him, you know you're in trouble. Stephen A. Smith don't care. The only reason this is a story now is because of the comments he made about Shohei Ohtani, which is also wrong. So help me understand something. Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't speak perfect English. Giannis Antetokounmpo was born and raised in Greece. So according to Stephen A. Smith, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a bad thing for the NBA because he was born in Greece and he has Nigerian heritage? Is this where we're going now? Or Hakeem Olajuwon, one of the 10, 15 greatest players of all time, he's bad for the NBA because he was born in Nigeria? What are y'all talking about? What do people use in their brains to think with? So is that what you're telling me? So if Shohei Ohtani is bad for MLB, Giannis Antetokounmpo is bad for the NBA. Hakeem Olajuwon is bad for the NBA. Luka Doncic is bad for the NBA. Dirk Nowitzki is bad for the NBA. All of these guys are bad because they don't speak perfect English. Is this what I'm understanding? Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? LeBron James does a lot. He does a lot of great things for people. Does LeBron James speak the Queen's English? Does he speak the best English in the world? What are we talking about here? Is LeBron James the most articulate athlete you have ever seen in your life? No. Kobe Bryant and these guys were more articulate than him. Does it mean that the NBA doesn't need LeBron James? What are we talking about? How did people allow this dude to be there for this long? Disrespecting blacks. Then you have a group of blacks that have zero respect for themselves that see no problem with it. They see no problem with it. As long as they didn't diss me or they didn't diss my hood, he ain't talking to me. They see no problem with it. You can go around calling people other names, and there's no issue with it. LeBron James don't speak that well. What are we talking about here? Does LeBron James strike you as somebody that speaks well? Do you hear anybody saying LeBron James is bad for basketball? Nobody in their right mind would say that. So why is he saying that about Shohei Ohtani? Why is he on national TV on purpose mispronouncing Nigerians' names? Why is he doing that? Bam Adebayo. Adebayo is a Yoruba Nigerian name. Just because it's easy to pronounce doesn't mean that, oh, we're going to get away with this because I can pronounce it easy, and for whoever else's name I can't pronounce, so the hell with it. And y'all tolerate that? And y'all tolerate it. I got people in here asking me, what am I going to do about it? And I'm up here talking about it. Meanwhile, they're asking me what I'm going to do about it, instead of them standing up and going doing something for themselves. This is the world we live in. Look at Victor Oladipo. And this is why I say Stephen A. Smith is a clown. Not for the reasons that other people, I'm not even talking about all the others. This is the reason that he's a clown, that we allow somebody this disrespectful to go out there and trash any and everybody, but he knows who he's not going to trash. Stephen A. Smith ain't stupid. He ain't going to mispronounce Max Kellerman's name or somebody else. He's not going to do that. You think Stephen A. Smith is that crazy? You think he knows who to mess with and who not to mess with. Stephen A. Smith knows that. He knows that. He knows that if he makes fun of blacks, Africans, whatever you want to call it, African Americans, he's not going to get in trouble for that. He going to walk around in parade talking about, oh, I did this for HBCUs. I talked in that HBCU. I talked in that HBCU. Whatever that means. Whatever that talking means. I don't know. Only you can tell me what the talking actually means. Going around talking in these schools. Meanwhile, when you get on TV, you disrespect them every chance you get. But it looks like not only does he not have any respect for people that look like him, he also doesn't have any respect, it seems like, for people that do not come from the exact same background as him. And now you're saying this guy is bad for the sport because he can't speak English properly? Excuse me, isn't English something you can learn? Isn't English just a language? English is something you can learn. The guys can learn it. So what if he doesn't? Giannis Antetokounmpo, I didn't think spoke great English before he came to the States. He learned it. Now he speaks English just fine. Do you see anybody saying Giannis Antetokounmpo, we need to get him up out of here because of his accent? What? What type of discrimination is that? Not only are you discriminating, you also have self-hate. You don't respect yourself and you don't respect others. And the only group I guarantee you Stephen A. Smith will not say this about is Jewish Americans. He will never say that. I guarantee you he will memorize the spelling of their last names before he comes on TV. I can guarantee you that. He's not going to come on TV and start saying, oh, whatever that dude's name is. Y'all think he's going to do y'all? He would never do that. He will never do that. And this is my issue with this dude. They got to get this dude up out of there. I don't see the good that he's doing. I don't see the good that he's doing. And for me to see something like this, man, I think it's very disappointing. For the new people that are coming that didn't see the video, let me give you guys the link. So I'm going to link this in the description below here. Not in the description, in the comment section. So this is the video of Stephen A. Smith mispronouncing, Nigerians' names on live TV on purpose. That's that there. Then I'm going to post the other link here. This is the comments that he made about Shohei Ohtani, saying that it's not a good thing that he's doing well for baseball because he's not the type of player that baseball want to attract. And given the fact that he doesn't speak English and he's not American, I don't know what that means anymore, that it's a bad thing. And Max Kellerman, by the way, thought it was a great thing. What else is new? Here's the comment. Here's the link to that video. So you guys can definitely go ahead and check those two videos out. But I said my piece. But I don't know what's wrong with Stephen A. Smith, man. I don't understand it. And now he's going to have to come out and make an apology. But I can guarantee you one thing. He will apologize to Shohei Ohtani, but he will not apologize for mispronouncing those Nigerian players' names. He won't do it. Stephen A. Smith won't do it. And nobody will make him do it. Nobody will make him do it. Nobody will make him do it. If he has said that about Jewish players that were basketball players, Max Kellerman himself would correct Stephen A. Smith on TV. Max Kellerman himself would have stood up and said, no, this is how you pronounce their names. He would have done it. But Max Kellerman knows Stephen A. Smith don't respect blacks. It's all lip service. Anybody that tells you to not respect your heritage is a fool. Run as far as you can away from anybody that tells you not to know and respect your heritage is a fool. Because if you don't know who you are lost. You're lost. Going to the United States, I lived in New York. I live with Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. I've been to some of their houses. What do you think they eat in their houses? You think they're eating hamburgers? No, they're eating food from their native country. Go to anybody's house. Go to a West African's house. You go to their house, even if they are living in the States, if you go to their house, they're eating their food from there. Why? Because culture is a major part of who you are. And if you don't know your culture, then you're going to end up being like, you're going to end up adopting somebody else's culture. So these people respect their culture. Go to an Italian American's house, and I guarantee you, it doesn't matter if they're making the pasta wrong. It doesn't matter if Italians say pasta, because you go to Italy, if you tell them you eat pasta with meatball, they'll cut your head. They'll cuss you out because they don't do it. But at least you see an Italian eating Italian food in his house, because it's how you keep the cultural bond connected. But anybody that tells you abandon that, basically turn into a feather. You're connected to nothing. You're grounded in nothing. And through that, you find who you are is a fool. Because he doesn't know his heritage, because he has no respect for his heritage, he thinks that other people don't have respect for theirs. Because his last name is Smith, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, your last name, if you trace it back very well, you're not a Smith, in case you didn't know, with your foolish self. Smith is not a black name. It's not. It's not a black name, in case you didn't know. It's not. Japanese people have Japanese last names. Spanish people have, Hispanic people have Hispanic last names. French people have French last names. Smith is not a black name. I've been to America. I've been to Africa. Guess what? Africans come from Africa. Newsflash. Newsflash. Africans come from Africa. And you know what? Africa, according to some people, they think Africa is a country. So you think if you go to Africa, you're going to meet the same people. But if you go to Europe, oh, no. Europe is Spain, Italy, Germany, London. I mean, the United Kingdom is different there. Switzerland, Norway, these are all different. But you go to Africa, Africa is one country. So you go there, you meet an African. No, Africa has different countries and different people. In case he doesn't know, some of us do know. In case some people feel like there's nothing wrong with it, I do. That's all I wanted to say on it. But for me, I'm done with this dude, man. I'm done with this dude. I'm done with this dude. I'm just so disappointed in him. But anyway. You said he's a Caribbean. He's from the Caribbean. He is surprising. He's surprisingly disrespectful that he's disrespecting because he's a fool. When you don't know where you're from, you do things like this. When you don't know where you're from, you do things like this. Now, ain't nobody paying attention to this dude, man. Anyway, thank you guys for being a part of this, man. I just wanted to get this off my chest. And I'll definitely catch you guys later. This is obviously not planned. Oh, what is the significance? I appreciate that. Yep, 12 million for being a clown. 12 million for being a clown. Absolutely. Okay, real quick, guys, before I let you go, we got a video dropping on the channel. I'm going to give it away because we're ranking some of the best players in the NBA. And I made a huge mistake, and I forgot somebody very, very important. So I'm going to say his name now. I forgot him, and it's a mistake. Luka Doncic is supposed to be on the list. I completely forgot him. He is supposed to replace Paul George on the list, putting him in the top 10, and Paul George is not in the top 10. I totally forgot to do that. So I'm saying it now. I forgot to put Luka Doncic. I forgot about that. Yes. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you guys for being a part of this live, and we'll catch y'all later. Thank you guys again. Thank you. Thank you.